It's the brilliant Mr. Brian Turner. Now, I'll tell you what, when I wanted this for the Christmas special, you were the one that I wanted, and I wanted Michelle Roux. Because I did. No, I did. I'm not joking, because I worked with you when I was, what, 11 years old?
I thought you were slightly younger, but yeah.
I think I was probably about 9, I think.
Probably were about 9. Yes.
9 years old.
I recall, yes.
Yeah, 9 years old, and some of the dishes are still on the menu.
Yeah, and I'm getting them right soon.
Exactly.
No,
so what's on the menu today, then?
Well, we've got duck.
Yeah.
And let me get the pan on here on the go.
Yeah.
And then let's kick off. If you could actually chop
the
some
lardons
lardons off me, please. And I need you to put the giblets, never throw the giblets away, get them into the stock, which is here, so we can just make it nice and strong.
Right.
So the idea is this is a dish which is a little bit of work to kick off with, and then hopefully at the back end it's very easy to put together, and it's a question of mise en place, organising your time.
Yeah, now this is the dry cured bacon on a piece, but I suppose you can just use just dry cured streaky bacon.
You can, but I think the nice thing about this is that we're doing it in larger pieces rather than taking bacon and just chopping it up, so we get some really good flavour. I've got some button onions there.
But you can buy the pancetta already done like this, can't you?
Listen. Pancetta is not British. You can buy good British bacon. You forget them over there, for goodness sake. I know why you've got us two on today, because the French and the British are having arguments in government.
Precisely, yeah.
We'll sort it out between the two of us, mate.
Right, we will.
If you could put that into that, very kind. I'd be very grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at the duck. This is lovely. It's been dry plucked. You want one with a dry skin, and I'm going to take out this bit of fat at the end here. And just to make it a little bit prettier,
now with ducks as well, people are on about Aylesbury duck, but there isn't much Aylesbury duck out there as well.
There's only one person, as I understand it, now does Aylesbury duck.
Yeah.
Up in Aylesbury. And did you know that originally Aylesbury ducks kept in that part of the world, they used to live inside the cottages of the farm workers. They used to have little beds for them on the windowsills and put the ducks in there.
Is this when he was younger?
It's one of his stories.
Yeah.
It's one of his...
No, but I'm sure you're right, Brian.
Listen, they used to do the same in France as well.
It makes sense. Animals used to live in a house.
Exactly right. Nice and warm, and look after them.
Absolutely.
And so wonderful, wonderful flavours.
Right.
OK, so look, I'm going to take these out now, because I just want a little bit of colour in there, get them going. And you'll notice that...
Now, can I just check this? This is all the giblets you got. You're taking off Parson's nose in there.
Yeah, just stick everything that's spare in there.
Use that bought-in stock? That's fine, isn't it?
Bought-in stock is great. A bit of chicken stock, actually. You don't need to start looking in the supermarkets to find duck stock. Chicken stock works just as well. But I think the trick here is, we don't have all that much time, but what I would like to do, if I was you at home, you need to try and render some of this fat down and get a really nice colour. So get the duck in there, and just give it, sear it so it's got a really nice colour, so that we actually get it caramelised on the outside, bags of flavour. What's that for? Oh, of course, yes. Well, no. Well, I like to do that once I've sealed it.
Yeah,
first.
I know you don't.
I love your story.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he asked me to do... Right, see, but the thing I want to show you now, of course, is that we actually prick this with a fork, just to get rid of that excess fat. Because duck fat is lovely, and if you've got time to get the fat coming out here, keep the duck for the roast potatoes. But if you haven't, don't worry about it. So having done all of that now, so I've got the fat coming out of it.
You can buy it already done now, the goose fat and duck fat,
But get a bit of salt in there as well, huh? And what I was going to say was about the lardons, was that we haven't actually cooked them in water to take the salt out.
Right.
So just remember that, but when you taste the sauce, you'll know what it's like.
At the end,
look, we've got some stock here that we prepped earlier on. I think the sensible thing...
So how long would you cook that for with the giblets in?
Well, really 20 minutes. You don't want to overdo it. And then pour it onto the... Just stand back a little bit, be very careful. I've turned the heat off.
We can't see him. It's a piece of Joyce, isn't it?
Someone rushed on and changed the duck whilst I was up at the screen up there.
Now you have to ask for the giblets nowadays, don't you? Really?
You do, and there's stacks of them about. And the liver. In fact, if you've got enough, don't use the liver in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, shall I put that in there if you would for me, please?
Yeah, no problem.
That's good. Okay, right, fine. So I'm going to put that underneath there.
So
and now all I'm
carrots
just going to do, I'm going to put this in the oven. That's the secret. Now, once it's in the oven, now we can stop panicking. When you're cooking at home, because you've got bags of time. In the foil there, about 150, 160 degrees. That one there was about 2.5 kilos. Would take up to 3 hours to cook. But halfway through it, take the top off, baste it, and let it get nice.
Now, there's going to be a lot of people cooking goose this Christmas as well.
Yeah.
Would you cook it exactly the same way? And then, literally, it's the long, slow cooking with particularly with wild duck as well.
Look, the secret really is, at Christmas, the last thing you want to do is to produce a dish which challenges you.
Yeah.
So really, you just, nice and easy, lovely with the goose, you don't have to worry about it. And they are meats which can be eaten well done,
Yeah.
falling off the bone, like the confit.
Yeah.
Careful there, Chef. OK, right, so what I've done now, I've taken it out after about 2.5, 3 hours, and I've got my sauce, my gravy over here, my sauce that I'm going to use in a minute. But what is quite important is that you keep the duck and let it actually rest for a while.
Right.
Good 20 minutes, OK?
Now, a lot of people with duck would check to see whether it's cooked by just prodding it, see whether the juices are unclear. Because we've cooked it for a long time, it's going to be...
It's going to cook clear, that's no problem.
Yeah.
What we've got over here, this garnish here,
Yeah.
15 minutes from the end, it goes into the pan in the oven, OK?
Right.
So you put these in 15 minutes before it's cooked.
Yeah.
Let them cook 15 minutes together. Then you take the duck out, and I've got everything here now just to reduce. You happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right,
Good
remember,
lad, okay.
that's a question on the show for either me, Brian, or Michelle. You can call this number. That's 0871 41 41 41. Calls remember cost 10p a minute from a BT line. Mobiles and other networks may vary. And if you put your question to us live a little later on, don't forget you find Brian's recipe along with all the other studio recipes from today's show. Go to bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. Right.
Now what we're going to do is just finish this sauce off with peas, chopped herbs and some lettuce.
Yeah.
Now peas and lettuce, for some very strange reason, sort of became known classically as à la française. But if you read, you can't read, so you be quiet, OK? If you read the old history
Actually, they
books...
have a bit of a history, these two, obviously.
Have you got your glasses on? Can you hear now?
I can now, right?
Good boy, OK. If you read the history books, they'll tell you that peas with duck was classic British, except they weren't frozen peas in those days.
Yeah, but that was the start of your career, wasn't it? Frozen peas.
Absolutely, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Was it really? 'Cause
Yeah, it
it
was.
It wasn't the
was the start of his career as well.
No, but Patsy did the frozen pea advert.
Oh, did you really?
I did. It wasn't my first job was The Great Gatsby. I played Mia Farrow's daughter in that. And then after that film, I got the ad for Bird's Eye. Am I allowed to say that?
And that was just...
No, there are other peas available.
That was just
I don't know what else is out there, but there you go.
when the peas go... That's wonderful, wonderful, huh?
And I was, under contract to them, I won't say who, for about 10 years.
Fantastic.
But what was interesting about his commercials was Tony Scott and Adrian Lyne and who went on to do Indecent Proposal. They directed all those commercials and then went over to the States and became these big movie directors.
See, this is
Alan
where
Parker
we've been doing
did
it all
one.
wrong, Brian.
Yeah.
Right, what
One
we've
of
got here
these
then
days.
now?
OK, so to remind you, we put those in there after 15 minutes before it ends. So I've got this in here. I've now put the peas in here. I'm about to put the herbs in that you've nicely chopped.
Which are sage, parsley and mint.
Sage, parsley, mint. Just smell them, I have to say. They do smell.
Smells like sage,
last
parsley,
minute,
mint.
There you go, you see? Well, you see, you've remembered all
Yes.
that. That's good. Can you just cut that into thin strips for me, please? Put that in there.
You
Now
never
listen,
stop talking and you never stop working.
I think I've done exactly.
Nothing have changed.
Yes.
I've got to say,
we're
the
not
smell.
all as shy as you. Does it smell
It smells
good?
like Christmas.
Well, there you are.
does.
See,
It wonderful.
I-
Absolutely.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
But
That's
because...
not the food, it's the Christmas tree.
Just... Excuse me. And that's, excuse me, not even a real Christmas tree. What are you talking about? So everything comes together here, but because the name's Turner and I was taught to cook by the French, in the French style, bags of butter in there just to finish up.
That's why I keep inviting you
thickens
back
up this-
as well, Brian, you see.
Is it right, lad?
Exactly, there you
Well, I
go.
tell you, you're looking trim these days. How do you do that? Don't answer that.
No.
OK, look, I've got some. I've got the leg here. We get 4 nice portions out of this. So all we'll do is just quickly cut that in half there. So we've got a bit of thigh there, and then I'm just going to take this bit off the end. The bone's fine, says he.
I need to do 2 plates.
Did you remove the wishbone?
No, I didn't, Chef. I just thought...
Just
it's a
want to
good
know.
one.
Just want to
You
know.
only know that because I told that in rehearsal that I'm not going to do it, purely and simply because it's too much fussy work. You can get away without it. So I just have to do 2 portions, do I, Chef?
For you it is.
Do you want the lettuce in?
Yeah, lettuce in last minute,
No,
Chef.
it's really panicking.
And then just...
Love it.
This is...
who is that person over there? I'm sure I've seen him somewhere before. Right, have you tasted that, Chef?
Yeah, we were there ready.
Did you taste it, Chef? I just really want to make sure this seasoning is spot on, huh?
Bit more.
There you see. See, I knew I could smell it needed more salt. Here we go. Right, look, so we got... Remember, we got onions, we got lardons,
smells
we got
good.
peas,
Oh,
we
it
got
does smell
lettuce. We've got a really nice colour on there. Let me just wipe that down, Chef. You
There you
wanna
go.
go?
So while you tell us what that is again, I'll finish off this up. Remind us what that is again.
Is English duck cooked a la English with peas and lettuce.
Lovely.
Quite topical at the moment. There you go.
Red wine lovers can really fill their boots when it comes to Brian's duck, because it's a classic dish that will go with loads of different reds. So if you've got a personal favourite, go for that one. Just make sure it's full enough in character to withstand the richness of the meat. Now, the Pinot Noir grape variety is a classic match for duck. You could go for a red Burgundy or something more affordable, like this beautiful Corriente del Bio from the south of Chile. But I've hunted us out an absolutely wonderful wine at a fantastically festive price. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Crozes Hermitage. Unlike Chilean Pinot Noir, Crozes Hermitage isn't full of ripe fruit and lush textures. It's leaner and it's not so immediately obvious, but it grows on you, and it really needs food to come into its own. It's made from the Syrah grape variety in the northern Rhone Valley in France, and it has these wonderful sort of meaty and peppery aromas which really invite you to take another bite of that duck. Yeah, it's beautiful, crunchy herbal flavours which will work well with the sage and the mint and the peas. It's elegantly mid-weight and crisp in acidity, which won't overwhelm the dish, but it will refresh the palate. And finally, it's really intensely savoury, which is what we need for the bacon and the stock. So Brian, it's a classic, beautiful dish, and here is a very refined wine to go with it.